Hi everyone, and today we're gonna talk about Among Us. Among Us is a popular online game that gained huge attention in 2020. In this game, players are part of the crew on a spaceship, but some players are secretly imposters trying to sabotage the mission. Players must work together to figure out who the imposters are before it's too late. Our analysis will focus on how the game promotes teamwork, communication, and trust, as well as how it builds tension through the mastery and deception. We will also look at the social dynamics it creates among players.
Timing.
So, mal gucken, ob mich jetzt jemand verteidigt. Einfach nur, um zu gucken, ob mich.
Main points that we're gonna cover. First one is teamwork and communication and gameplay. Second one is the role of deception and trust. And the last one is social impact of playing Among Us with others.
Our framework focuses on three main areas: the social interaction theory, games mechanics, and the narrative structures. Now, these elements highlight how the game mirrors human behavior in decision making, collaboration, as well as storytelling. Now, the social interaction theory reveals how Among Us builds tension through trust and deception. Focusing on the emergency meeting room section of the game, this mirrors real-world crisis communication. This is exactly where the imposters use tactics like framing others in order to create mistrust, as well as focusing on making themselves look innocent. Now, this reflects how scapegoating and misinformation affects the group decisions in real life. Now, the game's mechanics are very simple. There are tasks for crewmates and there are tasks for the imposters, but the imposter's task is to mainly to sabotage the game. Now, this creates a strategic depth to the game, since both the players use tools like self-report to confuse others, while the voting system demonstrates the power of authority in group thinking. Now, this emphasizes on the importance of the strategy and the adaptability of the players in the game. Now, moving on to the narrative structures. The open-ended narrative of Among Us allows players to craft their own stories, since there is no end to the game and it can be played multiple times. Now, making the gameplay highly engaging by doing this, as well as moments like when an imposter escapes or creates the perfect deceptions, becomes something very memorable between all the players in the community. Now, this shows how player-driven narratives enhance the connections between the players who play the game. Now, how do we link all of this to the real world? Now, since Among Us's game is mainly around players talking and communicating between each other, they mostly also focus on deception. Now, these deception tactics are mirrored in politics and media. And the trust reflects the teamwork of the players under pressure, since during the emergency room sections there are specific timers which puts pressure on these players to make a decision, and which really shows how the players trust each other. And there are also leadership dynamics which mimics how authority influences the players' decisions. The game serves as a controlled space to explore all these behaviors between the players as well as the real world. Now, if I were to put everything I just told you in one simple sentence, Among Us is more than just a game. It's a sandbox for understanding how human behavior works. Expanding the framework with our psychological as well as sociological theories can deepen its relevance. Now, putting all of that into perspective, the success of Among Us highlights the potential of the game to be used as a tool for studying social dynamics as well as storytelling. Its accessible dynamics and emergent narratives offer valuable lessons for game designs, education, and training.
So, in conclusion, Among Us is a game that challenges players' abilities to work as a team, communicate effectively, and use trust to succeed, while also embracing deception. Through this analysis, we have highlighted how the game creates a unique social experience. This approach shows how Among Us isn't just about the gameplay mechanics, but also about the relationships it fosters among players, making it a great example of how modern video game can influence social interaction.